What's going on, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here, coming to you live from the inside of my office. And today, a real quick show. We're going to be talking about how to find more garage sales, basically how to put yourself in a situation where you can make more money. You know, for anybody that does garage sales out there for profit, or you use garage sales as a place to get inventory, so you can send it to eBay or Amazon or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, Letgo, OfferUp, or maybe you have an antique booth. Garage sales are a wonderful place to haggle, to find great deals, and to make incredible money. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this show, is how to find more garage sales. And if you're a complete noob to this kind of thing, please subscribe to my channel down below. And yeah, make sure you hit that little bell on the side as well. I get a lot of questions or notifications on Facebook saying, I don't ever get notified of your live videos. And it's because you have to hit that little bell next to the subscribe button. And, you know, maybe you're lucky enough to catch me live, ask a couple questions. So anyways, the structure of this show is we'll do about maybe 10 to 15 minutes of content, and then I'll close it off with some Q&A. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I forgot to do a sound test, so let me know if you guys can hear me. I want to drop some of this good knowledge on you. And I figure if you're a beginner, hopefully this piques, you know, your whole like looking into the whole concept of flipping to make some extra money on the weekends. I've been doing this for 14 years, and I can tell you with the utmost confidence that it is absolutely possible to do this. You don't have to, like, you know, fill out a resume or apply for anything. You can go to garage sales and make money this weekend. And if you are a seasoned veteran and you're watching this show, hopefully you'll get some really good tips from this whole broadcast. And if it can land you a couple more garage sales or something like that, where it can put you, you know, maybe making some more money, I hope you remember that you got some of these tips from this video. All right, so anyways, we'll start with the most obvious kind of thing. Since you're going to garage sales, you know, whether you're a beginner or you're, you know, a seasoned veteran, you're going to want to definitely bring your cell phone, and it's for many reasons, right? One of the reasons is this is going to help you find the garage sales. The second reason is, you know, if you need to do on-the-spot research, you do it with this thing right here. And then the last reason is, if you need to scan something, not even for research, if you just want to scan a barcode, you're going to need this thing right here for the most part. So yeah, you want to bring your cell phone. Everyone's got cell phones. Make sure that you pay your cell phone bill so it works, and have a fully charged battery. All right, so let's take the obvious thing out of the way. The most obvious question is, you know, okay, so you have a cell phone and you want to go out on a Friday or Saturday garage selling. What's the app you use? So there are two apps out there for the most part, but the best one I think so far to this day right now is Yard Sale Treasure Map. So what I want you to do is, if you don't have this, you go to the App Store. If you have an Android phone, I feel sorry for you. No, yeah, you want to go to the App Store, whatever App Store you got, and download Yard Sale Treasure Map. So on my phone, it's sitting right there on the corner. All right, you can kind of see it right there. What I want you to do is I want you to open it up. Now, if you're sitting here going, okay, is this going to show us Yard Sale Treasure Map? It's kind of incorrect. I'm going to show you a couple things about Yard Sale Treasure Map that I like about it. One is, and if you are paying attention to the news, you know that Austin has a lot of rain, and the weather's just really bad right now. So probably tomorrow there won't be any garage sales, but you want to filter down to the day that you're going to go garage selling. So here we have Saturday. It looks really bad. Anyways, you can see dots right there. Now those dots are all, I would say they are 80% correct information, all right? Some of them can be duplicates, some of them can be in the wrong places, but for the most part, maybe 85%, those dots are in the right place, okay? So the reason why I say Yard Sale Treasure Map is because it gives you a good bird's eye view on the garage sales versus where you are. And where you are will be a little blue dot that's right there. You can kind of see that, all right? So no matter where you are in the USA, you can center yourself and you can see if there's any garage sales around wherever you are. Even if you're traveling or something like that, seeing some friends and families over the holidays, and you might be thinking, nobody does garage sales during the holidays. Well, you know, I beg to differ, but I also live in the center part of the country towards the bottom in Austin, Texas, and I have made crazy money even during the holidays on garage sales. So I always look for garage sales. And for the past 14 years, I've done this because I know the possibilities and the money that it can lead to. But I also know that if I do nothing, then I don't make any money. So it's just a fun thing to do. Okay, so your little blue dot, you're over there, and you see garage sales around you. So I'm going to click into a couple, and here's one that says massive garage sale very close to my house. You click into one of those little dots, and it shows you pictures a lot of times. Sometimes it won't, but the pictures are good because the pictures will show you kind of a glimpse of what could possibly be in the garage sale. And if you don't see anything super interesting from the pictures, then make sure that you read the text, because sometimes the text will contain something that might pique your interest. Okay, so here we go. We have some pictures on this garage sale right here. I go, it looks like crap. So I go to the text real quick, and then I read off, random things. So it doesn't really matter what you're into, whether you're male, female, or whatever. It doesn't matter what you're into. Read those things right there. Okay, so read all the text and see if anything piques your interest. I like to think that the more descriptive the text becomes, the less the chance of you making money from a garage sale. All right, so if something is super, super specific in the text, a lot of times any collector in the city, any super reseller in the city might be there, and the chances are the prices are just going to be bad. And it's simple psychology. If someone knows enough about an item, they have an attachment to it. They describe it out real well right here. That means when you get there, it's going to be a pretty good, going to be a pretty bad price for you. You want to go to garage sales where the term and the terminology is very vague. So I'll leave it at that. So that's the first thing is, go into your dots like that and figure out a route that you can go to. Now, another reason why you want to click on every dot is because on the bottom of every dot, it'll show you, if it's not in the actual verbiage of the garage sale itself, it'll be on the bottom. It'll say start time right here once you're in the garage sale. So here's the garage sale, right? There's the text of it. Shows you an approximate location of where it is, and then it shows you a start date right there. Of course, a start time, because you have to filter down to a certain day to get to this part right here. And that's pretty obvious how to do that. But this one's 8 a.m. Saturday. So one of the things that I like to do is very, very important. You see this little paint palette thing right here? So let me get my camera to focus on my phone. All right, so there's a little paint palette thing right there. I want you to click that, and it presents you with a bunch of colors. And I use blue for my 8 a.m. one. So if I'm like, I want to go to this garage sale, I would pick blue, right? And then I would exit out of that garage sale. And there we go. All right, so now this garage sale is now blue, all right? Which means that's an 8 a.m. garage sale that fit my criteria that I should go to, right? Now you can do any kind of color you want. For me, blue is going to be anything that starts at 8 o'clock. Purple will be anything that starts at 9 o'clock. Orange will be anything that starts at 10 o'clock. And green will be anything that starts at 7 or 7:30. And so I do all these little dots, and I color code and everything. You might be thinking that's kind of nerdy. But when you're sitting there and you're racing around, trying to make money, you can't really sit. If you just color them all with one thing, then you won't know which one to go to versus another, how to prioritize or anything like that. So that's one of the things that I do. Now, if you're in a situation like, let's say it's raining real hard, or the day before it rained real hard, but the day of garage sales might be a 10 or 20% chance of rain. So you go out anyway, but you're like, I wish I had an edge on that whole thing, right? You can get an edge with yard sale treasure map. So once you're in your day, so you select the day that you want to, go garage selling, what you need to do is go to those three little lines on the side right there, and that will bring up search bars. All right, search bars are really, really important because it allows you to put stuff like rain or shine, or you can type in estate for estate sales. Things that you can do, rain or shine, that means they're having it if it's rain or shine. Estate sales are almost always done inside as well. So even if you have rain coming, you can still find some good sales just by doing that. So I wanted to make sure that I laid down some of those tips for you guys. You can also put in, so if I put rain, let's just check out rain real quick. So I'm sitting here on the app. I'm going to try to do it while you guys are here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. And someone's asking, is this yard sale treasure map premium? It is. It's like $4 a year, maybe $2 a year. Just do the upgrade. Do not be cheap and not do that. Just trust me. I have found some insane deals. And as I remember, yard sale treasure map premium unlocks like the whole week for you. Whereas without it, you have just Friday and Saturday or something like that. I've found great deals on Sundays. I've found great deals on Thursdays. So you're going to want to definitely pay for that. Like, figure it all out, but pay for it. It's like $2 or something. It's so cheap, it's ridiculous. All right, so I put rain up here, right? I'm typing in rain, and I'm going to press search. And of course, all this stuff comes up. Look at that, rain or shine, rain or shine, rain or shine. So if I'm like, all right, cool, that's pretty good. Where is this one? You click on it, and it shows you exactly where it is versus where you live, right? So now you have a complete edge if there's inclement weather or something like, maybe there's a sort of a snowstorm or something like that. At least you get an edge on the competition by doing this. So you click into it. It's a rain or shine sale. Figure out when it starts. look at the verbiage, look at the pictures. If it's something that you want to go to, then highlight it in a color. So I hope that helps you guys out right there. If you're enjoying the content so far, the most important thing you can do is pay me $100 through Super Chat. I'm just kidding. No, but hit the like button. That's really the most important thing. Put some comments down below. Let's get to the next tip. Okay, so I wrote some things down right here. I want to make sure that you guys make money while you go out garage selling. Nothing's more frustrating than, you know, being prepared, get your money in line, your car's gassed up, it's hollowed out, like, you know, you got all the junk out of your car, you're ready for garage sales, ready to make some money, and then it's like, you know, the day just sucks because you're kind of just all over the place. You don't know how to prioritize things. So the Yard Sale Treasure Map, as of right now, is my favorite app to go to route things. Okay, so it looks like that. Get it on your phone and upgrade to the premium level. Okay. Showed you guys a search of Yard Sale Treasure Map. Now, I know GSailor. I know one of my friends runs GSailor. I don't use GSailor, but I know some people have before. So I can't speak much about it, but I know there's another app called GSailor. So a question coming in from Ryan Reyna saying, how far do you typically range? It really just depends on the verbiage, where I'm heading. If I'm heading to South Austin, Central Austin, then I will progressively look in that direction and highlight things with dots and color-coded things just to make sure that I'm not all over the place. So that's really important. Okay, so cool. So that's so yeah, there might be a GSailor app as well, but the Yard Sale Treasure Map is the one to go to. All right, so get that one, Yard Sale Treasure Map. Make sure you get that app. Also, when you're in Yard Sale Treasure Map into the search function, you can type in anything. Say I typed in rain, and that's just an example of what it will bring up. You can type in NES, video games, electronics, camping gear, sporting goods, you know, lacrosse gear, whatever you're really, really into. You could also type in neighborhood, neighborhood-wide, community, church, really, really good keywords. And anytime that you know, it'll give you some data, right? And all you got to do is just go through each one of these and figure out where it is, because it could be 30 miles out, 20 miles out. But every now and then you land with some that are like really close to your route. So that's a really, really important thing to consider, is that this is just a search bar, and you can be as specific as you want. You can put fundraiser, you can put all these really, really cool things in there, and it'll show you on a bird's eye perspective where that garage sale will be. Okay. What else here? So let's talk about community, right? So you land yourself in a community-wide garage sale, which is basically like the epitome of like a most amazing day ever. It's like going to garage sales where they're community-wide or neighborhood-wide or something like that. Now, how do you get an edge in those kind of places? So a lot of times, what you can see, I see this 50% of the time, but if you go to a garage sale, you know, try to go to the head of the garage sale where the cash is, and you know, sometimes they'll have a pile of paper, which is all the people that are participating in the neighborhood at that whole like neighborhood-wide garage sale. So that's important to get that piece of paper. Now, another place that piece of paper might be is at the very beginning of the neighborhood. So if it's like being held at Autumn Estates or something like that, usually these places have 1 or 2 dedicated entrances, and someone will put a little mailbox thing in the ground where you can take the piece of paper and it'll show with dots or some sort of route, or sometimes it's just addresses. So that's a way you can get an edge, a big way you can get an edge. Now, if you have, once I get the one that has the map, that's the best one to get, you know, but you can't be picky. You just take what you can get. And sometimes you'll get the one that just has the addresses that are just like, you know, top to bottom, that are kind of written out. I don't like that very much. Well, you know, then again, it's much better than nothing, right? So when you get something like that, you have to obviously whip out your GPS on your phone, or just a bird's eye view map. Understand what the neighborhood looks like real quick. So I think that's one of the biggest failures people do when they're trying to find more garage sales, is they get overwhelmed quickly. But if you take a bird's eye view of a neighborhood, a lot of times neighborhoods are kind of like trees, right? There's like, you know, the base of the tree will be the entrance to the neighborhood, then it kind of just does the whole tree thing, right? Other neighborhoods will be more like a loop with a bunch of little tree things on each side of the loop. Some neighborhoods are 2 loops, some are loops within loops, some are just dead-end cul-de-sacs, you know, instead of the tree things. But a lot of them follow kind of like the same thing. So you kind of have to know how to route things and know where your exit's going to be. And that way you can get around the neighborhood on a much faster rate. So when you're going to these community-wide garage sales, there are 3 ways that you can get the map, okay? One is just from going to one random sale, hopefully early in the neighborhood, and someone has a stack of papers there. So that's one way you can get the map. The second way you can get the map is if you look really hard, close to usually where the neighborhood-wide garage sale banner will be or something like that in the beginning of the neighborhood. There might be something in the ground. That's the little thing that shows like where all the garage sales are. The last place that you can go to get this is the HOA website. So if you know it's Autumn Estates, right, for example, then I would go into Autumn Estates HOA the night before and see if I can get any more information about the actual addresses says of the garage sales that are going to be there in that neighborhood. It's a slight edge, but honestly, a slight edge is all you need to make a lot of money. So yeah, that's very, very important to do it that way. Okay. Let's talk about Craigslist real quick. So we talked about yard sale treasure map, how to use the search function, which is really, really important, how to color code, all that kind of stuff. Let's go a little bit more antiquated, which is just going on basic Craigslist. And Craigslist, as you know, is, once you hit Craigslist, whatever your city is, you'll be greeted with the all famous, white background with purple font, text, whatever. And there's a place under the for sale section that says garage sales. Once you get into that, you're greeted with much more. Actually, if you're greeted with that and you have the right kind of view up, you'll get these little squares and it'll show garage sales, whatever, with a search bar at the top. All right, the search bar is really important because that's where you can type in community, neighborhood, neighborhood-wide, church, fundraiser, any words, any combinations of anything that you're looking for. So if you're looking for camping gear, you probably want to put tent, camping gear, outdoors, things like that. So you have to think on the lines of like, what kind of things am I looking for and how many different word combos or variations plus singulars and plurals can I make of those word combinations? And you can search it that way. Like I said, this is a little bit more antiquated approach to it, but it's definitely something that has worked for me in the past. And I used to do this just on a sheet like this. I used to make sheets with lists before yard sale treasure map was the biggest thing. So, all right, so that's really important. Now, I'm going to leave you with one last tip of how you can get some more garage sales under your belt, and that is to look at the Nextdoor app, which is really important. Now, most people, and I don't ever see anybody talking about this app, but it's called Nextdoor, and you can filter down to the neighborhoods closest to you. I have Nextdoor sitting on page 2 of my phone. It's at the bottom right next to Flickster, right? So here's Nextdoor. So you click into that. And you can go into the classified section, and a lot of times people will put garage sale stuff in there. It's not called classifieds anymore. It's called for sale and free. And yeah, so once you go there, you can find it sometimes in there, and sometimes it's just in the random actual, just the randomness of the app itself. So you can actually, how do I say it? You can set up this app to hide like lost pets, crime and safety. You can have it only show you for sale and free classified stuff plus general neighborhood things. But that's where you can find some cool garage sale stuff as well. You can almost get an advanced kind of notice on what's going on in your neighborhood. And some of those things don't end up on Craigslist. So that's why I say it's another way to maybe look at as your last case resort for something, and it's a good place to find things to flip too. Like nobody ever thinks about it, nobody ever talks about it. But the key about Nextdoor that's really cool that nobody ever talks about. No one really ever talks about Nextdoor as an app, but no one even says to go further and surround. Like I have 39 neighborhoods showing me information in this thing. 39. All right. So you can set that in your settings. I mean, I did this a long time ago, so I can't even pretend like I remember how to do it. But I know you can figure out how big of a radius and all these little neighborhoods will be part of your Nextdoor app, which is kind of cool. And if you're bored, sometimes there's some really, really good banter in there, and there's some people that have lost their marbles that will start chatting up some stupid things. And it can pass by some time if you're at a dentist office or something. It'll make you laugh a couple times. But anyways, so that's another thing that no one ever talks about that can be an asset of yours if you're trying to find neighborhood-wide garage sales or just garage sales in general. Also, don't forget to look for garage sales that start on Fridays and Friday mornings or Thursdays or something like that. And don't forget to, like, if you check Friday morning for a garage sale and you only see like 4 and you're like, all right, I'm going to check out 2 of them. And then you come home and you're like, that sucked. Check back at noon, because a lot of times people will post things and it'll still be a Friday garage sale that might start at 2 or 4 or 5. That's actually really common in Austin, is to find garage sales that start around 5 and 4 o'clock. And it's all, they call them sneak peek sales. Like, it's still a garage sale. You can still go in there and buy stuff. So anyways, So that's the tips I wanted to give you in this video. I wanted to keep it pretty short. I wanted to open it up for some actual Q&A. I consider myself to be I mean, I don't know at what point someone is labeled a professional in what they do, but I would say 14 years with easily 60 or maybe 70% of all those weekends in 14 years I've gone garage selling. So I don't know if I'm a pro or not, but it's not even about bragging. It's about, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about, right? And you guys have watched my videos. I've edited them as well. I didn't need to do any of that, but I did. And yeah, I don't live in the best garage sale place in America, but I don't live in the worst one. But even if I had 50% less opportunity with garage sales, I would still find a way, you know, through some of these searches or whatever, to land myself at more. So that's just something I want to leave you guys with is don't sit there and go, well, Bonafide's videos are awesome, my town sucks. Like, no, like maybe you have to travel 30 minutes before your first big round of garage sales. We had someone in the green room like a couple of years ago for fourth quarter FBA had to travel 2 hours every morning to get to a town that had a lot of opportunity. Then he would leave at 6 o'clock every single day and come back home. And then he would actually like send all the stuff off to FBA the following day. But that's sometimes you have to make some sacrifices is what I'm saying. And so don't ever try to look at your situation as being any less than anybody else's. Just look at how you can control the situation. And I think in this video, I showed you many ways that you can control the situation. So anyways, so let me get some questions down real quick. I'll see if as long as the questions come in, I'll try to answer them. THC man says, have you ever spent your entire bankroll on the first yard sale of the day? Yeah, actually I have. And these were just random days where I'm like, all right, it looks like we're only going to see 3 to 5 garage sales, like me and my brother, and I happen to maybe have 150 bucks on me or something like that. And let's say it's a Friday, like I'm not stacked in cash for the following day. And then you come to a garage sale where you blow all 150 like really quick. I mean, that's happened. It's not common, but it's definitely happened. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I guess I could be more prepared, but on Fridays, it's like I've never come across a Friday outside of usually 1 or 2 that have taken all that money, you know? So yeah, I have spent all my money many times during Saturday garage sales. So it's just part of the thing, you know? Okay, so Ben Arcia, how do you test composite baseball bats before putting them up for sale? There's a ping test that you can do. That's on one of College Pickers' videos. My brother shows me how to do it, but it's really, I can't even describe it right here. Just try to find the YouTube ping test composite bat. I think you'll figure out how to do it. It's pretty easy, and there's a certain kind of like ring echo thing you're looking for. You don't want it to be a dead sound, so that's the most important thing. You can do that at a garage sale. Outside of visually inspecting a bat, which 50% of the time will have some sort of an issue, but outside of the ones that don't have the issue, now you have to start thinking like, how much do I buy them? Like 20% of the garage sales we go to, the bats are accurately priced, but 80% of them are not, you know? But we also don't want to come back with dead bats and stupid purchases. So all the bats that my brother brings home are all good bats, every single one of them. So do you have to polybag each item for FBA? No. FBA, you just polybag the ones that they tell you to polybag. So a lot of times in my experience with FBA, it's been plush things. Yeah, if it's like a toy, I'm trying to think. What's a good example of a polybag? Like Dreamy Kitties or whatever, these like Disney kind of, I don't know, they look like little cats and they're annoying, and when you walk past them they start like doing things. But anyways, that thing, just because it was a furry kind of plush that was anchored down with some wires to a box, and it didn't have any like window to it or anything like that, those have to be polybagged. But it's not really prevalent as I've seen yet. So I wouldn't say that you have to be worried about that kind of thing. OGC, how much money do you usually carry on garage sale day? Somewhere between $300 and $600 usually. Jesus Garcia, can you explain how you do your antique booth? Yeah, so the antique booth is just an avenue for me. I'm actually waving my antique booth tags here, not even purposely doing that. So these are booth tags. Essentially, what I do is I go to garage sales or I go to thrift stores and stuff like that. And I always wanted an avenue. This is like 7 years ago or 6 years ago. I was watching American Pickers, and I was like, that'd be pretty sweet to do that in my town. So I went to an antique mall close to my house, 5 miles down the road. And as I was walking through, because I was actually just going there to get educated on like things that sell, And as I was going around the antique mall, the owner happened to be walking around. He was like, "Hey, ever thought about actually having a booth in this mall?" And I was like, "Wow, what's that?" And so the way it is, it's an antique mall. You can think of half of an ice skating rink. Here in Austin, Texas, there's an old ice skating rink or actual roller skating rink, and half of it sold off, and the other half is the antique mall. So it's a wood floored place, and the very front of it, there's only one entrance into it, and that has a staff, right? And the staff is usually 3 to 4 people deep every single day. And it's people that can ring things up, that can help people get big items in and out of the antique mall. But essentially, it's a funneling kind of tactic to where everyone that comes in has to go through that one booth, through that one checkout, and everyone that goes out has to go through that cashier kind of thing. So you can go anywhere in the antique mall, and every booth is rented by someone like me. And from there, you can just put things in the antique booth with these tags, any price that I want to, and you arrange it any way that you want to as well. And so long as it's antique, vintage, or retro, there's a chance that people will come in, look at it, and want to buy it, right? And so that's essentially what the antique booth is. I pay rent, and for the front desk to do their job, basically tendering out the whole thing and helping with any kind of moving that needs to be done, that is a 10% commission off of whatever I sell the item at. So that's how I do the booth. It's a good place for me. Like that's way when I'm at a garage sale, I don't have to walk past vintage, antique, retro items that are maybe larger than normal. I can pick them up, whether it be a wingback chair or a set of lockers or cowboy boots that maybe don't qualify so much for eBay. I can put them in the booth and they can sell between 30 and 60 bucks, for example. So that's one of the reasons. That's like the primary reason why I have the booth. All right. Uniquely Me says, hit the like button, everyone. What's up, Tracy? Good to see you. Okay, do you and eMoney share an eBay store? No, he has his own, I have my own. Like Hustle, Bonafide, is a hot dog a sandwich? Why or why not? I don't think it's a sandwich, and it's because only one end of it is open. Whereas a sandwich, like, you know, the meat can breathe from all sides. With a hot dog, it's only like half of the hot dog is breathing and the other half is not. So I don't think it's a sandwich. The flippin' FNG. Hey, Bonafide, did you already talk about the bag you posted? No, I posted a bag today that I found a couple days ago, and it's chilling right here. Nothing crazy. A really awesome bag. $5 at a Goodwill right across the highway from my house. Pretty nice bag. Just sitting there, you know. I was really surprised. You look at the actual. I knew what it was when I touched it. I was like, I already know what this is. But I have, you know, an extensive amount of knowledge with bags. So. But yeah, we can see the zippers right there, and if you look carefully, they say Filson. I didn't even need to open it. At that point, I knew what I was dealing with. This will probably sell for around 150 bucks. I really do think so. Some people that commented back on my post this morning were like, "That's going to be 100, whatever." I think it's really going to be about 150, like honestly. So, and I maybe have to wait 2 weeks, maybe a month, but it's all good. Anytime I can convert $5 into 150, even 100 bucks, I'd be happy with. But I always like to shoot for like good stuff. So, anyway, all right, more questions. What's up, Debbie Porter? Good to see a lot of people. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, holy crap, like I think this is live, you can ask me a question and I can answer it for you. All right, so. Walter Canis, how many items do I list a day? It really just depends. You know, sometimes I go crazy like every other day, or I go like, you know, 3 to 5 items a day. The most important thing is to cross list items too, I think. So if you ever get a chance to cross list one of your items, same kind of verbiage, maybe a little bit less price if you're going to sell it locally, I highly, highly suggest doing that. But it's not, see, I think a lot of people get caught up with how many, like listing 100 a day, 50 items a day, like that's great. I'm never impressed with people like that, because when someone's doing 50 items a day, like by themselves or something like that, you better have like all these templates ready to go, and you're probably dealing with clothing more than likely, right? Those are things that don't really interest me very much, because, you know, now you're dealing with all these different factors where I'd much rather deal with 1 or 2 people a day, you know, with $50 or more with pure profit on the back end, and doing high quality kind of execution when I make my listings and they're keyword rich and the items are real good. Your return rate becomes basically nothing. Your question rate becomes basically nothing. And then when people want your items and you're picking them right, they're good and unique enough to where they don't want to return it. And your item and the way you've described it beats a lot of other listings that are on eBay. So that's the reason why I like doing it my way. I also don't want to commit my entire life to eBay, but you know, for 14 years, I've been going to garage sales, I've been going to thrift stores, and it's a really easy way to make money with no boss looking over your shoulder, with a little bit of overhead, and just having a lot of fun, a lot of freedom. And so that's the reason why I'm making videos like this, is to show you guys how to maybe land yourself at another sale, a couple more sales a weekend. And those are sometimes what makes or breaks your day pretty quickly, are some of those extra efforts that you put in. So anyways, you know, it just comes down to things like that. I'm kind of losing my train of thought because my mind works really quick and it just starts going all over the place. I want to give you guys as much information as possible. But anyways, let's go to the next question. All right, what do you think about women's purses? This is a really good question. I was actually thinking about this the other day. And the reason why I don't do women's shoes as much as well is because there's so much, not to learn in that space, but there's just so much fluff, right? You ever tune a radio like back in the day and it's like you hear scratchy stations like, and it finally gets to a really good station, you're like, all right, cool. I feel as if there's a lot of fluff. It's kind of like our AM, it's like kind of like an FM radio, like the female section of shoes and the female section of bags and purses. I just feel there's a lot to go through and a lot more time invested to find the real gold, right? And that just comes from firsthand experience, like going through so many different shoe sections of thrift stores across America, going through so many bag sections. I find more winners in the men's category, of shoes. That's just how it is. Now, it doesn't mean that there is more there. It just means that I find more there. Someone that's way more versed in women's shoes and women's purses might have a heck of a time in the women's department, but really suffer hard on the men's side. So I'm just saying, with my experience and time allocation, that I think the men's bag department, the men's shoe department is an awesome place to really start trying to make some good money with flips. Yes, and Debbie Porter says there are a lot of fakes as well, which is true. There are a lot of, just hocus pocus, crappy compositions and fake leather, faux this, faux that, seams that are falling apart, baubles and beads that shouldn't be there. Just, a lot of stupid brands like Fossil, and I didn't even think Michael Kors is a bad brand. I really do. That, like all these really bad brands that you have to sift through, and then you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I found a Michael Kors purse. That's great. And it's like, now you have to spend all this extra time trying to identify it, like exactly which. It just takes forever. Like that kind of stuff takes forever to realize, like sometimes like $30, $20. I personally would rather spend my time somewhere else. So other questions. Uniquely me, have I ever had to deal with a scammer? Yes, I have, with a pair of roller skates. I think I've had to deal with a scammer with a boombox as well. The roller skates, I think, were 2 years ago. The boombox was about 3 years ago. The boombox one I saw evolving, and I was able to be real careful with it. So the boombox one, before I listed the boombox on eBay, I made sure to take a picture with the serial number on it, which was really important, and identifying like things that I knew about the boombox. So when someone was like, hey, this boombox isn't working, I'm like, this thing is 100% working. I know for a fact. And it was one of these like armored Sony boomboxes too. So even within shipping, it would have survived all that. I had a feeling that the person was going to return me a bad boombox, right? And I was like, well, I replied back to the person, so long as the social security, the serial number is good on the boombox, and the marks are exactly where they are that I know of, I'll honor a return. And from then on, I never heard from that person. The roller skate one, I think most people know about my roller skating story, getting scammed. Sold a really awesome like mint pair of like older Resell skates. Someone said they fell apart after using them for 3 hours at a roller skating rink, and I was just like, yeah, I don't think so. Like, there's no way, right? But that's just what comes with it, right? I don't think you can play an eBay world or FBA world without paying somehow. And so if you're sitting there, I think there are two distinct kind of people in this world. And this goes back to sometimes my example of the people that when you're out driving around and you get a flat tire, it's like, holy crap, this flat tire sucks. And then the rest of your day sometimes just starts to suck really, really bad. Whereas there's another kind of person that goes out there and like, oh, flat tire. well, that's, you know, it's about time. Like, I haven't had one in like 7 years. And then they fix their flat and they go about their day, and the day just continues to be as it was or better, you know. And they don't look at the tire as influencing the rest of the day. So I think that's when I see a lot of, you know, talking in some of these other groups, I see people like, I'm getting scammed, and like, this is awful, and like, I hate eBay, and like all this stuff. That's great. Like, get off eBay so there's more people for me, right? But I just think you're one or the other. You really are. And if you're probably watching my channel, you're probably the other, which is the good one. So that's good. But yeah, you can't let these things reflect the overall picture. So you get scammed for $300 a year, let's say on eBay, but you ended up making, you know, 100K. Like, I'd be really good with paying 300, putting it on the ground if I could pick up 100K a year later. You know, it's pay to play. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you can fight it all out, and that's great. And, you know, if you fight it for $300 and you figured out you wasted, you know, 6 hours of your time, well, essentially you just paid $50 an hour to attempt to win that case, for example. You know, THC Man says at the beginning it was tough to take losses. Yeah, you know, if you're taking losses repeatedly, you're probably hustling run-of-the-mill type items, or you're in a category that just has a lot of scammers and stuff like that. So, you know, there are categories like that that have way more scammers than normal. You're not going to find as many scammers, let's say, for shearling coats in the wintertime as you will with, you know, latest and greatest electronics or video games or something like that. You're going to find more scammers in one place as opposed to another. So if you can kind of figure out maybe and dial it back and go, okay, well, where are most of these scammers? And a lot of them are with electronics. A lot of them are there. There's video games, a lot of scammers with video games. A lot of people that'll buy video games off of you, play them, beat them, and then just like return them. You know, it's just part of the game. It's just part of it, you know. But if you're going to get heavy into video games, then start looking into your local markets, which I like because they're one and done. Like, once you sell something to somebody on Facebook Marketplace or offer up Craigslist or let go, like, it's a done deal. Like, who cares if they play it and beat it and they want to return it? You don't have to take it back. You're under no obligation to take anything back from those places. So anyways, that's really important. Don't say it's tough to take losses. Think about the mentality behind that statement and go, okay, why do I think it's hard to take losses? Maybe I'm just in the wrong playing field, you know, play in a different place. What's your opinion on selling DVD VCR combos recorders? I stopped doing them because they were getting, the shipping was breaking a lot of them. And they do require extensive testing, especially if the DVD VCR combo has some sort of a hard drive involved. So very, very important. You know, if it has a hard drive involved or something like that, or yeah, you have to make sure that this stuff, I mean, okay, so first of all, DVD VCR combos, there's like 3 different types, right? There's DVD VCR where you can put a VHS tape, it plays on your TV. There's another one, that's one version, right? You put a DVD or you put a VHS tape and it plays on your TV. There's also one that are DVD VCR recorder combos, okay? So one is a DVD VCR combo, the other one is a DVD VCR recorder combo, meaning you put a VHS tape in it, you can record it to a DVD if you want. You can also play back VHS if you want on the TV, and you can play back DVD on the TV. The third one is the one that I hate the most, and that's DVD VCR HDD, like some sort of a hard drive inside plus recorder combo. Now, those yield really big return if you can extensively test them out. And usually the extensively testing out part is the hardest part. So I really don't like doing it, but if it's your only thing, kind of like bags and shoes and bikes are like my big things, then I get why you would get into a complicated situation like that. Because I can look into a bike or something like that and go, that's easy to fix, you know? And that brings back something the other day. I was on Facebook Marketplace at 7 o'clock 2 nights ago, and I came across a really awesome bike deal. I won't say very much from here, but I paid $550 for 2 amazing bikes plus a bike trainer. And I think if everything goes right, I can sell each bike for a G, or maybe 1,500, maybe 1,500. The bike trainer will go for around 300, maybe 200 actually. So yeah, but I had to travel an hour to go get these things. It kind of sucked. But anyways, yeah, don't ever forget, if you're bored and you're at home, and let's say that you want to have some money-making opportunities right there at your fingertips, look at Facebook Marketplace, look at Craigslist, and look at OfferUp, look at Letgo, and look at Nextdoor, and lowball people. So, okay, any more questions? Big spender. Should I pick up a Tumi bag without the ID tag? Look, some Tumi bags don't have ID tags. Very few, though. in my experience, maybe 95% of all the bags I've flipped have the ID tag. I have a Tumi bag right here, actually. So here's a perfect example of a Tumi bag that I found at a thrift store a year ago. And my wife used it for a little bit for something with business related. But anyway, so this is an actual Tumi, which is crazy. This is a real Tumi bag. Everything is, I mean, this is not cheap Chinese knockoff stuff. It's Tumi embossed right here, there. The leather is not the cheap leather. And you can tell a lot of times with this cheap leather, the stitching will be, it'll be very frayed looking. It won't look right. The nylon is on point. It's ballistic nylon, I know that. And it's, you know, I'm looking around for the tag and all that kind of stuff. The tag is nowhere to be found in this bag, but I know 100% that this is an actual Tumi bag. But the tag is nowhere in this bag, nowhere, anywhere, right? Magnetic closures, everything. So yeah, this will probably make it to my eBay store or something like that. But that's one, you know, 95% of the Tumi bags that you will resell will have the tag in there, and that's great. And then I've also come across fakes that have the tag in it as well. So you have to be really, really careful with Tumi. The fakes are pretty obvious though. Yeah, so Raken's in the house. What's up, Raken? Good to see you. Hopefully you're not cold from your cryo, bro. Good to see you. Okay, what are your thoughts on musical instruments? Any success with them? Yes. So let me put a couple things in perspective. One of which is I started playing guitar back in fifth or sixth grade, eighth grade high school. Started playing guitar. The first guitar my mom bought me is actually still in my house. It's a Jackson Charvel, not a Flying V or anything like that, but it has a pointed top to it. It is metal flake. It's super sick. I still have it. I cannot believe it, right? But yeah, my first guitar, my mom did not buy me a classical acoustic or a standard acoustic or an electric acoustic. She bought me an electric guitar with no amplifier. So for about a year or two of my life, I was playing an electric guitar. And if you've ever played an electric guitar with no amp, you can barely freaking hear it. So, but I'm trying to put this in context because I know a fair amount about guitars, but that's also because I was kind of born into it, I guess, somehow. And from there, I got acoustics and classical acoustics, learned how to play classical acoustic, learned how to, you know, the difference with electric acoustic, or you can make any acoustic guitar an electric acoustic with a you know, a certain pickup. Guitars are awesome. I like them. I usually, when I go to garage sales, I'm trying to pick up acoustic guitars or electric acoustic guitars, because a lot of times here and even in Austin, which is like live music capital of the world, you will hardly ever see an electric guitar at a garage sale that's not a Fender Squier or First Act or something, some junky thing, right? I did resell a Telecaster from a garage sale one time for like $350 that I'd bought for like $30. So that was one electric guitar resale that I had. I think a couple bass guitars in there somewhere. I think an Ibanez was one of them, and there's, you know, a couple other randoms, but for the most part, I have flipped more acoustics than anything. Like, that's my leading thing. Those are easy to look at. You know, you hold them towards the light, you can see if the neck is bent or anything like that. They're easy to test. I mean, it's easy to look for damage. And the brands are really easy to know, like Sigma Taylor, you know, Martin. Like, you just have to know just good brands, even Takamine, you know, however you say it. You know, at the right price, a brand even like Ovation could be a good resale hustle. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there are a lot more kind of junky brands you have to go through though to find a good one, because there are a lot of junky like Washburns and really crappy Esteban guitars that are at garage sales and stuff. But you know, you can make a lot of good money on guitars. I currently have 2 for sale right now on Craigslist. So anyways, yeah, I like guitars, but I like certain guitars because they're easier to mess with, and there are just not many electric guitar ones here in this town. So I can imagine if I did have electric guitars in this town that I could resell all the time, I would be picking them up, but they just don't, they're not out there. And they're really obvious when you have to say no to them. So a lot of times it's a stupid First Act guitar or a Fender Squier, you know, never something good like a Stratocaster or a real Telecaster or a Les Paul or an SG or Flying V or anything like that. None of those. So Peter Ray's Adventure question: what's the furthest you've gone to pick up items? Well, I would say yesterday was one of the further ones. I mean, the 2 days ago was one of the further ones I went to. I went to a town called San Marcos, which the further, no, I take it back. The furthest I've ever gone for anything has been San Antonio, which is an hour and 45 minutes away. And I think that day I bought 3 radio-controlled cars for really cheap, and I made money on all of it. But that's when I had a Prius. I could justify the time, and the gas expenditure was nothing. And that's when gas was cheap. So yeah, I have to figure out how much time I'm going to invest with going, and I have to figure out the work involved, you know. And that's it. The ones I picked up 2 days ago, you know, I was like, all right, this is 2 hours out of my time. I'll be out $550, but the top end I could make around $3 grand. So I'm like, yeah, I'm into that one. Like, I'll do that one. So big spender 1,000. How do you know a bike is not stolen when you buy it for cheap? You don't know that. The best thing you can do is to take down and the way that you bought the bike. So if you buy it from a pawn shop, you're 100% covered right there because they give you a receipt and it has the serial number and everything on it. Bikes, I mean, the pawn shops are supposed to cross-check stolen equipment, but many don't. When you go to a garage sale, I don't think anybody in a garage sale is going to sell a stolen bike that I've ever been to. If you buy bikes off of random people on the street, which I've done twice, then yeah, you run the risk of that being a stolen bike from maybe another town somewhere. But you know, I took that risk appropriately back in the day, came out ahead, it was all good. So how do you know a bike is not stolen when you buy it for cheap? You really don't know. But if you buy from a pawn shop, you're covered. If you buy it from a bike shop that took it in somehow, and it's part of their used department, you're still covered. You have a receipt. If you buy it from a garage sale, just take down the address, the time you bought it, the day you bought it, and you're covered right there too. Because basically, if someone comes to your house saying, hey, where the hell did you get this bike? Which has happened to me before. I've had an officer at my door saying, let me see this bike that's on Craigslist, blah, blah, blah. Basically was like, this is where I bought it, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, here's the receipt, and I was good to go. But if I didn't give him the pawn shop receipt, and let's say it was a garage sale bike, then I would show him my garage sale log, and I would show him this is the address where I bought the bike from, and there you go. You know, I'm covered either way. Nothing really bad is going to happen to you unless they can prove that you stole the bike in the first place. So, Peter Ray's Adventure. How's the weather, by the way, Chris? Was watching Formula One practice from Austin, Texas. It was really raining hard. Yeah, it's raining hard right now. The lakes are at like over capacity. It's really bad. I don't expect to go to many garage sales tomorrow, although I will go out. I filmed last weekend and it rained the first part of the day. I had an epic freaking day garage selling last weekend. Found some really good things. So I'm going to go out there for sure. Uniquely Me says, hey, if you find a stolen bike, flip it really fast. Polish Check says, dude, nice Jesus look. I'm not going for a Jesus look. I don't even know what kind of look I'm going for, but thank you so much, Polish Check. Any more questions? And I'll be out of here. Let's see. Can you hook it up with a BOLO, please? Can I hook it up with a BOLO, please? Oh, I think I know. Can I like end the show with a BOLO? Maybe that's what the person's saying. This is pretty good BOLO. I mean, I think everyone should know this. This is in my shoe guide. So I'll just show it right now because I came across a really good pair. I usually don't buy these unless they're really, really ridiculously cheap. Now, these weren't ridiculously cheap. If I do resell these, it's usually from garage sales. Here's a BOLO for you. This is a Keen Newport. Such a common sandal to look out for, okay? It's a Keen Newport, really nice. I think it's so funny because this thing says right here, waterproof, right? Like, it's a sandal, come on. Like, anyway. So these were $10 out the door the other day. I fully expect to sell these things for $60 or more. They're size 13, which is cool. Really, really good size on sandals like this. Newports are right around almost $100 new. Most important thing when you're looking for the wear indicators for these, because if you got my shoe guide, you're going to understand like wear indicators and stuff like that. But yeah, you can see that these are in like impeccable condition. This was found yesterday at the Goodwill across the street from my house, across the highway. The Newports will start fading away the circular tag when they have too much wear, right? This circular tag is totally intact, right? It looks awesome. Inside it shows you the sizing. We look at the circular tag on the other one, and it's like there's like no cracks on it. Like it's perfect condition, right? So that's one of the easiest ways to see it outside of looking for the wear indicators on the bottom. So anyways, yeah, and that's another thing that someone's saying, Keens are known to fall apart, but you know, if you sit there and you bend the edges like the shoe guide shows you, this one has not fallen apart, this one's good, and this one looks really good. Pull, blah, 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 this one's awesome too. $10 turn into 60 or more pretty easily. That'll fit into a USPS shoebox, no problem. They'll go out more than likely for $9.72 shipping. And yeah, pretty easy money to be made right there. Okay, any more questions? One more question and I'm out of here. So I got 89 viewers in the house. I'll tell you what, if you guys are listening to exactly what I'm saying right now, I want to see my likes go from 22 to 70. That's like asking you for something very, very, very small, a small favor. I'll say 60 right now because a 70 might not be right. 60 likes, like hook me up. And if you didn't see the information before that I dropped, make sure, because it's all this stuff on the sheet. I dropped it in the first 15 minutes of the show. You'll be able to play the show back on replay. And yeah, you can understand. With the information I gave you, you should be able to land at 1 to 3 more, or maybe 1 to 5 more quality garage sales every single weekend. Polishek, Chris, do you promote listings? If yes, how much percentage? I don't promote listings. I tried once. The thing about promoted listings is there's no real telling. Like, okay, so when I put things on sale, typically I put anywhere between 10 and 25% things on sale. But the whole sale thing has like totally changed on eBay, and I haven't run a sale in like months. I did promoted listings for like a month. I didn't see really any increase. So what I do now is different. I actually price my stuff appropriately within a really good spread. I hone in on amazing keywords, and I buy good items, right? And if everything goes right, you know, 50 to 100 or more a day is really what I'm looking for out of the profit of eBay. That's just all I'm really searching for right now on a part-time basis. Like, that's what I want to walk away from. So yesterday, as I was going to bed, I had a $5 bag sell for 130 bucks. So that was pretty good. I'll ship it out tomorrow. And today it's like kind of still waiting for that thing to come through. I already got an offer for $100 for a $10 pair of shoes, but I declined it because the pair of shoes are $250 in my store, and someone offered me 100. I countered at 190. So, you know, if that goes through, or if I get, let's say, a $150 offer from the guy, I might just take it. You know, it really depends on where I am in the day. And I'm like, all right, you know, it's 9 o'clock in the day. I haven't had my $100 mark or whatever mark I'm looking for. I might entertain an offer like that. It really just depends. So anyways, Uniquely Me says promoted listings don't work for me. They just don't work for me either. So, but I can't say that I've extensively tested them out yet. The interesting thing about promoted listings, it'll tell you with the category that you're dealing with similar listings, what the actual promoted listing percentage is on average, what people are picking. So I saw some weird numbers like 5.8% or 3.4%, you know, so it makes you want to put 4, it makes you want to put 7, right? But even with that, like when it was 5.8%, I threw 10% on my promoted listings, saw 0 results, 0. So, but like I said, I haven't extensively tested it out, so I cannot be looked on as a pro when it comes to promoted listings. Mary, what's up? Good to see you. Your videos are very helpful. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Savage Gear says, I saw a small increase with promoted listings, but not worth it. Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's worth it yet. I still have to test it out more. But as of right now and what I've seen already, I didn't like it that much. So anyways, Polishek says, I know what you mean. Scanning keywords and they're not very accurate. Yeah, keywords are the most important thing you can put into eBay. The most important thing. That's it. I mean, if you do really good keywords with real decent pictures, right, and your description highlights any flaws in whatever item you have, I just don't see any way that you can have a return rate over, let's say, 3 or 5%. I just don't see it. It's just impossible. And if you buy good items, like not run-of-the-mill stupid items, all right, like good items, and you hunt for good items and you hold out for good items, then I think you'll really see your business take off in a much better direction, and you'll find yourself with a little bit more time to enjoy life with your family and your kids and stuff. But I think a lot of people out there are doing kind of just the run-of-the-mill thing, and it's not that they're drowning in their business, but they're working in their business as opposed to working on your business, right? And that's the more fun way to be. It's not to be really reacting, but controlling it, right? So anyways, you know, for what it's worth. Kristen Springer says, my husband and I went garage selling today, randomly yelling cheddar weather at each other. Fun times. Cool. I wonder who made up that term. Cheddar and tacos equal money gains. That's what I am saying. Mary Baggett says, I got a $180 book today for I got a $180 book for $1 today at a first yard sale. Cool. That is really, really good. Uniquely me, aka Tracy. Keywords and great items, fair prices, sales. That is really a good equation. I mean, I'm gonna steal that. No, I'm just kidding. That's really what it comes down to, though. Really good keywords and great items. Yeah, I like how she put great items in there. She's a really, really good thrifter. I know her. She lives in Austin. She's great. But yeah, keywords and great items with fair prices equals sales. I think it's so important because, like I said, the great items is important, but the fair prices, like a lot of people just try to super kill it. I think you can go for the super kill if you're not really wrapped up in the item whatsoever. So like the reason why I'm going for a super kill on these shoes that I got a $100 offer on today, that I'm only $10 into, is because I have a really strong feeling they're worth about 190 bucks, like something like that. Like I just have that hunch, and I'm okay with tying up 10 bucks for 2 more months if it means I get to realize that. That's just me. So yeah, fair prices. Be fair with your prices. It's okay to test the market out, but 2 or 3 weeks have passed by, 4 weeks, whatever, and you're still not moving this item, definitely reduce it. One of the easiest ways that you can kind of get a cheat on like some quick sales is to go to your eBay active inventory and look at watcher count. Yeah, watcher count. That's the most important thing. You can look at the view count too, but like the watcher count's really important because these are people that are really like they're just waiting for like the perfect price decrease, and they'll pop on your items. So you can go to your watcher count. You might find one with 5, one with 3, 4. You can sort it in descending order and focus on those top 10 ones real quick and move the price down 20 bucks, 30 bucks. I say it like that because I'm dealing with items a lot of times that are north of like 70 bucks, 80 bucks. My average ASP right now, my ASP this month was I think 75 or 73, which is good because the last time I did a show and I talked about ASP pretty heavily, I think my ASP was like 63 or something. So I've worked at my ASP through the year doing this Road to 200 thing. And ASP is so important. It's one of the most leading indicators whether you're making more money on your business or not is ASP. You can find it on the main page of your eBay seller hub, right? I guess that's what it's called. If you scroll down, like 2 thumb scroll, you can scroll down once or maybe twice, look to your left, there's a thing called Sales Reports Plus. When you click into that, it'll show you your ASP in the lower right part of the page. It'll be 3 little rectangles, right? And one will be a rectangle for July, and I think they just released September like a couple days ago. So you'll get July, August, and September, and you can look what your average selling price, ASP, is for the items that you're selling. My ASP was like 83, I think, in July. I had an ASP of like 77 or 72, I think, in August. And in September, I think I'm at 73 or 75, something like that. But my ASP is still pretty decent, so that's good. Average selling price. So, all things held constant. So let's look at it a little bit differently, right? If you're sitting there and you're in a thrift town, or you're like Austin, Texas, there are thrift stores or garage sales. I think with garage sales, you're not going to see much of a price increase on anything. People want to get rid of things. But with thrift stores, it's a little bit of a different story. Because a thrift store is a much bigger place as opposed to somebody's house. And a thrift store has a lot more, it's only geared to do one thing, and that's to take in inventory donations, process it, and make money, or donations, or whatever, redonate it to whatever cause. So you're dealing with 2 different psychologies, right? One psychology is items are coming out of somebody's house, typically. They're going to a garage sale. People hate these things. They're like, it's just clutter to me. It could be great items for people like me, for example, but it might be really annoying, or used items from somebody that spent really good money on these things, but they want it out of their house. So that's one piece of psychology going on right there. And once that thing makes it to a garage sale, there's no way that item is going back into the house, right? Usually. And the next step is donations at a thrift store. Now, when those donations make it to a thrift store, now you're dealing with a place that has much bigger overhead, but it also has the processing capability to sort things, to take it all in. It's got a drive-through. It's open from business hours. That's the only thing that they do, is they do that one thing. And so when you're seeing prices getting jacked up at thrift stores, it's because they know that in today's world, like, thrifting has become a cool thing. It's not because of Macklemore's song or anything like that, or Gary Vaynerchuk or anything. Flipping has just become a better, more mainstream thing to working basic jobs, or sometimes even medium grade jobs. Like, thrifting is more it's more fun, right? And it allows you to do things on your time. It allows you to be the entrepreneur that you want to be. And I think it's a great way to make money, and it's almost like a loophole. That's the way I look at it. And I think a lot of people have gone towards these alternate streams of income, whether it be Mary Kay or Ambit Energy or all these other random things, and thrifting and FBA and wholesaling and private labeling. And they've gone to these things because in 2008 we had a housing crisis, which caused the market collapse. And that caused a lot of instability and a lot of leaning out of companies. And what I mean that is that companies that people were working 15 years for, 20 years, 25 years, they were just axing these parts of these companies like, all right, so you work in here, yeah, we're dissolving that area right now, and we're paying your stuff out, and here's your severance. You've been a great worker, but see you later. Like, that really taught a lot of people in 2008, 2009 that lean operations are like totally in. And so that's another reason there's all these people in the job market can't get jobs, highly qualified, and they're looking for ways to make the same amount of money, and it'd be great to have no boss. So thrifting is definitely in. And I'm trying to figure out where I was going with this, but essentially, if you're in a town where the thrift stores are raising their prices like up, all right, this is where I was going with this. And I think we're all in those towns, right? I think we're all seeing that the prices are increasing. I go to, $9.99 shoes are still out there for me, but I see $12.99 a lot now, right? So what does that mean in relation to ASP, all right? Is that if your ASP goes up $4 and the average price of like the main thing that you're reselling is $10, you do a lot of $10 hustles or a lot of $5 hustles, if that $10 hustle goes to $13 out the door, you might be worried, right? But if your ASP goes from $70 to 73 or 74, or even 75, because there's some postal increases too, then that's good. That's the reason why you got to look at ASP. If your ASP is staying the same right now, or it's going lower, then that's a problem, right? Because everything's increasing and your ASP staying the same, it's not a good business to be in. Like, you should rethink your whole thrifting outlook, and you got to be working on that ASP going up. And there are only a couple ways that you can do that: more volume, hire a worker, or get into different genres that pay more. That's just it. So anyways, I hope you guys kind of understood where I was going there. I'm not trying to rag on anybody, but I look out, y'all's best interest is really important to me, because if you guys don't make money, then that's no fun. Then it's like nobody comes to meetups and nobody goes to hangouts, and me being a guide creator too, no one buys the guides. And so it's important for me to put money in your pocket, because that way you guys will come back to my channel or whoever's channel around that like taught you these important things. And you'll start to realize that it can be a hobby if you want it to be, or it can be a business if you want it to be. And for me, it's a business, but it's part-time and it's a lot of fun. And with all the experience I've done over 14 years, I've created guides, and guides do pay me. That's great. But I make the guides in the best interest of you guys, to make you guys money. So if you're not making money, there's a problem, and I feel as if I have to address that, and I have to find you a way around that. So that's the, maybe the big learning out of today is not so much garage sales, but it's, looking at this thing as a business, right? And garage sales are just a piece of that business. Thrift stores are a piece of this business, and any other way that you want to make money in relation to this business is part of the business. So anyways, look at your ASP, guys. Look at your ASP. It's so important. If your garage sale season's over, I see people are saying garage sale season's over, blah, blah, blah. Go to thrift stores, go to pawn shops, like really work hard on learning higher resellable items with higher ASPs. And I think you'll be pleased. It's gonna be some work, right? It's kind of annoying, and it's kind of cumbersome and tiresome, because it's really easy to do the same things you've been doing all the time. And I'm talking more specifically to the people that are listening to me right now going, God, my ASP is like 30 or it's 25, and it hasn't changed. It's actually gone down, like something like that. That's bad. All right, that's a red flag, and that's not going to make anything better for you. So, if you want to do things better and treat it like a business, you got to look at some of these metrics, right? And the metrics are not going to lie to you. So anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I got to get out of here. I just thought so I could drop some information. I know always with the Q&As, it will go a little bit more off topic on the Q&As, because people ask some really good questions. But anyways, if you could do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button, right? That really helps maybe this video get to other people that might be in a bad predicament, or they want to find more garage sales, or they just want to do better for their business. I want all those people to find this video. So hit me up with a like, and I will see you on the next Bonafide Hustler broadcast tomorrow. I'm going to see a couple of garage sales, but I'm going to do thrifting, do pawn shopping. My wife will be with me. My brother will be with me. It'll be awesome. I'll wake up early. I'm going to have cash in my hand. I'll have my car clean. Everything's going to be perfect. Like, it's going to be an amazing day. So I hope your day is amazing too. I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler broadcast. Take it easy. Go Bonafide!